Opening, when your brain feels foggy for no clear reason, you're eating better. You've been more mindful about sugar, processed foods, even your meal timing. And yet, there are still moments when your brain just doesn't show up. You sit down to work but can't focus, you reread the same sentence 5 times. Your ideas feel scattered, your memory feels slippery. And your motivation on vacation. Sound familiar? This kind of mental fog isn't loud like a headache. It's subtle, quiet, but deeply frustrating, especially when you know you've been trying to take care of your body. In the last episode, we focused on how energy crashes and blood sugar swings can leave you tired even if you eat healthy, but now, we're taking it a step deeper. What if your meals don't just affect your body, but your brain? The truth is, your mental clarity, your creativity, your ability to focus are all directly tied to what and how you eat. And it's not just about getting enough nutrients. It's about when those nutrients arrive, in what combination and in what sequence. This episode, food as brain fuel, but smarter. In this episode of Eat in the Right Order, we'll explore why some meals make you feel sharp and others leave you foggy. How food order affects not just your blood sugar, but also your neurotransmitters. The connection between gut health, inflammation, and mental clarity. And how to build real-life meals that nourish your brain, not just your belly. You don't need nootropics. You don't need 6 cups of coffee. You need a meal rhythm that feeds your mind, because focus isn't a mood. It's a metabolic state, and food is the switch. Ready to learn how to eat for mental clarity, not just physical health? Part 1. Why your brain feels foggy even with a healthy diet. You've cleaned up your meals. You're eating less sugar, more whole foods, maybe even more vegetables and healthy fats. You swapped the soda for herbal tea, the cookies for almonds. And still, you sit at your desk and stare at the screen. Your thoughts feel like static. Your ideas feel just out of reach. You're not tired, not exactly. You just don't feel sharp, and the most frustrating part? You've been eating right, so why does your brain still feel like it's running on low battery? Mental fog, the invisible frustration. Mental fog isn't as obvious as a headache or as dramatic as burnout. But it shows up in small, annoying ways. You reread emails 5 times. You forget why you walked into a room. You lose the thread in conversations. You feel overwhelmed by simple decisions. You start tasks and abandon them halfway. And when it keeps happening, it doesn't just affect your productivity, it chips away at your confidence. You begin to wonder, is something wrong with me? Is this just how I function now? Do I need more supplements or more motivation? But sometimes the answer is simpler than you think. Sometimes your brain just isn't being fed the way it needs. Your brain runs on food, but not just any food. Your brain weighs about 2% of your body, but it uses more than 20% of your energy supply every single day. It's one of the most energy-hungry organs in your body, and that energy? It comes from glucose, the sugar broken down from carbs. But here's the catch. Your brain doesn't like too much glucose all at once. And it also can't function well with too little. What it wants is a steady stream. A slow, gentle release of energy that keeps it balanced without highs and lows. The blood sugar-brain connection. Let's imagine 2 different mornings. Scenario. You drink coffee with a banana and granola bar, your blood sugar spikes. Insulin kicks in, pulling that sugar into your cells. Your blood sugar crashes an hour later, and now you're distracted, you crave more food. You feel anxious or foggy. Your brain is begging for fuel, but it's already gone. Scenario B. You start with eggs and sautéed spinach. Add avocado and a small piece of roasted sweet potato. Your blood sugar rises slowly, then hold steady. You feel focused, satiated, mentally clear, calm but energized. Same calories, different sequence, completely different brain response. Insulin and focus, the hormonal piece. Insulin isn't just about blood sugar. When insulin spikes too fast, it can lower blood glucose too much, disrupt delivery of glucose to your brain, trigger cortisol stress hormone. make you feel anxious, tired, or wired. Your brain runs best when glucose and insulin stay balanced, and that starts with food order. Starting your meals with vegetables and protein slows digestion, flattens glucose curves, and protects your focus. But it's not just sugar, it's inflammation. Another hidden reason your brain feels foggy: low-grade inflammation. Many people think inflammation only matters when you're sick or injured. But your brain is extremely sensitive to even mild inflammatory signals. What causes that? Blood sugar spikes, eating too much processed food, poor gut health, lack of fiber, and even eating carbs before fiber or protein. Inflammation in the gut can lead to inflammation in the brain. And when your brain is inflamed, even subtly, you feel it as mental fatigue, low motivation, sluggish thinking, decreased short-term memory. The gut-brain link you can't ignore. Your brain and your gut are constantly talking. In fact, 90% of the body's serotonin, the feel-good neurotransmitter, is produced in the gut, and your gut health is shaped largely by the food you eat, the order you eat it, the diversity of your fiber sources, the balance of blood sugar throughout the day. A stressed gut equals a stressed brain. A nourished gut equals a calmer, more focused mind. What this means for you: if you've been eating healthy but still feel foggy, don't panic. You may just need to shift how you start your meals. Try this. Eat fiber-rich veggies first: spinach, fennel, cucumber, sauerkraut. Follow with protein and healthy fat: eggs, tempeh, avocado, fish. End with slow carbs: quinoa, lentils, sweet potato. Eat slowly, breathe, chew, allow your body to catch up. These small shifts tell your brain you're safe, you're steady, you're supported. Final thought: mental clarity isn't just about sleep or mindset or productivity hacks. It's about how your body feeds your brain one bite at a time. And sometimes your brain fog isn't a lack of willpower. It's just a sign that your food order isn't in sync with your mental needs. The good news: you can change that starting with your very next meal. Part 2: Neurotransmitters, Glucose, and the Role of Food Order. If your brain were a city, neurotransmitters would be its communication network. They carry messages, they spark thought, they guide memory, mood, motivation, and more. And just like any network, they need power. That power comes from glucose, your brain's main fuel. But not just any kind of glucose, and not at any speed. Let's explore how neurotransmitters, glucose balance, and food order all come together to shape how clearly and calmly you think. What are neurotransmitters? Really, neurotransmitters are chemicals your brain uses to send signals between nerve cells. Think of them as the language your brain uses to do well, everything. Here are 3 major players. Dopamine, linked to motivation, drive, and focus. Serotonin regulates mood, calmness, and emotional stability. Acetylcholine supports memory, learning, and attention. Your brain doesn't just store these chemicals, it makes them, and it makes them from the raw materials you get through food. This is why what and how you eat can either boost or block your mental clarity. Glucose, the brain's favorite fuel. But a sensitive one: your brain runs on glucose. But it doesn't want too much, too fast. A sharp rise in glucose from a carb-heavy meal eaten too quickly or in the wrong order causes insulin spike, temporary brain overload, crash in blood glucose, inconsistent delivery of energy to the brain. Result: you may feel foggy, jittery, unfocused, emotionally flat, or reactive. One study from the journal Appetite 2020 found that high glycemic index meals impaired cognitive performance and reduced reaction time within 1 to 2 hours after eating. Your brain doesn't just want fuel, it wants steady fuel. How food order helps the brain focus when you eat. 1. Fiber first, from vegetables and greens. 2. Protein and fat second, eggs, nuts, fish, tofu. 3. Slow carbs last, quinoa, lentils, sweet potatoes. Gives glucose is released gradually, gives blood sugar remains stable, gives insulin stays balanced, gives neurotransmitters are produced and delivered efficiently. It's like creating a smooth internet connection for your brain. No lag, no overload, just signal and flow. Amino acids, the building blocks of thought. Neurotransmitters are made from amino acids, the compounds in protein-rich foods. Tyrosine gives dopamine, tryptophan gives serotonin. Choline gives acetylcholine. But here's the catch: if you eat your protein after a big carb load, amino acids compete for transport across the blood-brain barrier. Your brain may not get what it needs. That's why starting your meals with protein or eating it early in the meal can literally shape how motivated and focused you feel an hour later. The carb-first fog phenomenon. Let's take a real example. Anna, 32, is a grad student. Her typical lunch: a sandwich on whole wheat, a banana, iced tea, pretty healthy, right? But she noticed that every afternoon, she struggled to concentrate. She felt heavy, irritable, and distracted even if she'd slept well. After working with a nutrition coach, she made 3 small changes. Ate a small salad with olive oil before her sandwich. Added a hard-boiled egg. Saved the banana for an afternoon snack. Result: her focus returned, not because of willpower, because her brain was finally getting fuel in the right order. Bonus: the gut neurotransmitter connection. Most of your serotonin, up to 90%, is made in the gut. And your gut bacteria influence dopamine production too. That means your gut health affects your mood, memory, and motivation, and gut health is shaped by fiber diversity, blood sugar balance, inflammation or lack of it, meal rhythm, and quality. So again, how you eat matters. Brain supportive meal tips: simple, practical, sustainable. 1. Start with greens: arugula, spinach, fennel, cucumber. 2. Include a protein source: eggs, fish, tofu, lentils. 3. Add healthy fats: avocado, tahini, olive oil, nuts. 4. Finish with smart carbs: roasted squash, sweet potato, quinoa. 5. Chew slowly. Mindful chewing increases satiety and slows blood sugar rise. Want better focus? Eat like your brain matters. Because it does. Final thought: nourish thoughtfully. Focus isn't just about productivity. It's about how well your inner systems are supported. When you feed your brain gently, steadily, and in the right order, you don't just think better. You feel more in control, more creative, more you. So next time you sit down to eat, ask not just, will this fill me up, but also, will this help me think clearly? Because your next great idea might start with the order on your plate. Part 3: Anti-inflammatory foods and how inflammation affects mental clarity. Sometimes brain fog doesn't come from lack of sleep, or too much stress, or not enough caffeine. Sometimes it comes from something quieter, slower, harder to notice until it builds up and starts clouding your mind. That something is inflammation, not the kind that shows up as fever or swelling. We're talking about low-grade, chronic inflammation, a silent fire that burns just under the surface. And your brain, it feels every spark. Inflammation and the brain, a hidden link. Inflammation is your body's defense system. When there's a threat like infection, injury, or even imbalance, your immune system responds with inflammation to protect and heal. But when this response is constantly triggered, even at a low level, it stops being helpful. It becomes disruptive, especially to your brain. Why? Because your brain is extremely sensitive. It relies on clear, uninterrupted communication between neurons. When inflammation rises, this communication slows down. Neurotransmitters become less efficient. You may feel mentally slow, less motivated, easily overwhelmed, prone to mood swings. Like you're here but not fully present. A 2018 review in Nature Reviews Neuroscience confirmed that chronic inflammation is linked to cognitive decline, brain fog, anxiety and depression, memory loss. Even if you're young and otherwise healthy, what triggers inflammation in the brain? Many everyday things, especially in modern life, can contribute. High blood sugar spikes, processed, refined foods, Too many omega-6 fats found in fried foods, seed oils. Low-fiber diets, disrupted gut microbiome, chronic stress or poor sleep, even irregular or chaotic eating patterns. And the tricky part is, these don't always show up as pain or illness. They show up as forgetfulness, irritability, mental fatigue, or just not feeling like yourself. The anti-inflammatory power of food. Here's the good news. One of the most powerful ways to reduce inflammation is also one of the most accessible. What you eat and how you eat it can either fuel or extinguish the fire. Certain foods naturally fight inflammation by reducing oxidative stress, supporting a healthy microbiome, stabilizing blood sugar, enhancing mitochondrial cellular function. Let's explore the key players. Top anti-inflammatory foods for brain clarity. 1. Leafy green spinach, kale, arugula. Gives high in magnesium and antioxidants, gives support detox, reduce oxidative stress. 2. Fatty fish salmon, sardines, mackerel, gives rich in omega-3 South EPA, DHA. Gives reduce neuroinflammation and support neurotransmitters. 3. Berries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. Gives packed with polyphenols and flavonoids, gives improved memory, reduce brain fog. 4. Turmeric with black pepper. Gives curcumin is a powerful brain protective compound, gives reduces inflammation and boosts mood. 5. Fermented foods, kimchi, sauerkraut, kefir, miso. Gives balanced gut flora, gives improved gut-brain communication. 6. Nuts and seeds, walnuts, flax seeds, chia, gives source of anti-inflammatory fats. Gives help stabilize blood sugar. 7. Green tea. Gives contains L-theanine and catechins, gives enhances focus while calming the nervous system. Food order, why it still matters. Even if you eat these powerful foods, how you eat them still affects how well they work. Remember, spiking your blood sugar with bread or juice before your brain-boosting foods can dull their effect. To get the full anti-inflammatory benefit, eat veggies and greens first, add protein and healthy fats next. Save slow-digesting carbs for last. Eat slowly, with attention. Digestion starts in the mind. This sequence helps reduce insulin spikes, lower inflammation markers, calm the nervous system, improve nutrient absorption into brain cells. A 2021 study in Frontiers in Nutrition found that food order alone can reduce C-reactive protein, a key inflammation marker, by up to 20% over 6 weeks. Beyond food, lifestyle also matters. While food plays a starring role, it's not the only one. If you want to lower brain inflammation and sharpen mental clarity, also consider gentle movement like walking or stretching after meals. Sunlight exposure in the morning to set your circadian clock. Quality sleep, ideally 7 to 9 hours. Deep breaths before eating to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode. Inflammation is often the result of many small stressors, and healing comes from many small supports. Final thought, clear body, clear mind. You don't have to wait for brain fog to go away. You can gently help it lift by creating a more peaceful internal environment. That starts with your plate, with what you eat, in what order, and how you nourish your gut and brain together. Eat for clarity, eat for calm, eat like your brain deserves peace, not pressure. Part 4. Sample meals and brain-boosting meal order. You've learned how inflammation, neurotransmitters, and blood sugar all impact mental clarity. Now let's turn theory into practice on your plate. Because your brain doesn't need perfection, it needs consistency. And just like your body, your mind thrives on simple, nourishing rhythms. Here's how to build real meals that support focus, memory, and calm without overwhelm. Morning clarity, start light, start right. Your brain has just gone through a night of fasting. It needs gentle energy, not a blood sugar roller coaster. Breakfast example, sautéed green spinach or kale with olive oil. 2 boiled or poached eggs, a slice of avocado. Optional, a small cube of roasted sweet potato, herbal tea or warm water with lemon. Order to eat: 1. Greens first. 2. Follow with eggs and avocado. 3. End with sweet potato if hungry. Why it works: fiber and fat slow down glucose release. Protein fuels neurotransmitters like dopamine and acetylcholine. No sugar crash equals clear, calm focus till lunch. Optional twist: add 1 tsp of flaxseed oil for omega-3 support. Midday focus: your brain's peak power window. Midday is when your metabolism and cognitive function are both at their peak. This is your best chance to eat for lasting mental clarity. Lunch example: bitter greens salad arugula, fennel with lemon plus olive oil. Grilled salmon or tempeh, 1/2 cup of quinoa or lentil pilaf. Steamed carrots or roasted beets. Order to eat: 1. Salad and steamed veggies first. 2. Protein second. 3. Quinoa or lentils last. Why it works: omega-3 salad from salmon reduce neuroinflammation. Fiber first blunts glucose spike. Slow carbs feed the brain without mental fatigue. Lentils provide folate plus iron equals mental sharpness. Fun fact: a study in Nutrients 2021 showed that people who ate leafy greens plus fish at lunch scored higher on attention and memory tasks than those who ate carb-first meals. Afternoon stability: stay light, stay clear. This is the danger zone for many people. Energy dips, focus fades, cravings creep in. Smart snack example if needed: sliced cucumber or celery with hummus, a boiled egg. For 2-5 walnuts or a few blueberries. Avoid fruit on its own, energy bars, pastries, or crackers. Why it works: protein plus fat equals stable fuel. No sudden sugar jolt gives no crash. Walnuts contain a plant-based omega-3 linked to improved working memory. Evening calm: wind down your brain. At night, your brain needs to transition into recovery and repair mode. Heavy meals, late carbs, or sugar will only delay melatonin and disrupt sleep. Dinner example: warm vegetable soup with mushrooms, carrots, and greens. Baked tofu or a small piece of grilled chicken. Optional: a spoonful of mashed pumpkin or brown rice if hungry. Herbal tea for example: chamomile or rooibos. Order to eat: 1. Start with the broth and veggies. 2. Follow with protein. 3. End with light carbs optional in small portion. Why it works: warming foods ease digestion. Low-carb meal allows melatonin to rise naturally. Protein at dinner supports overnight neurotransmitter repair. No bloating equals deeper, more restorative sleep. Quick brain boost meal builder: the 3-to-1 rule. Want a cheat sheet? Use this simple formula at any meal. 3 parts fiber-rich veggies, greens, carrots, fennel, beets. 2 parts protein plus fat, eggs, tofu, fish, avocado, olive oil. 1 part smart carbs, quinoa, lentils, squash, saved for last. And remember this sequence: fiber gives protein gives carbs. This keeps glucose flat, neurotransmitters flowing, and mental fog away. Extra tips for maximum brain clarity: chew more slowly. Digestion starts in the mouth, and it also activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the focus state. Eat without distractions. Even 10 quiet minutes of intentional eating can improve nutrient absorption. Rotate your greens and proteins. Variety supports gut diversity, gives better mood and clarity. Hydrate mindfully. Dehydration is a sneaky cause of brain fog. Sip herbal tea or warm lemon water between meals. Final thought: think with every bite. Your brain doesn't just respond to what you feed it. It responds to how and when you feed it. Start your meals with intention. Add calm, not chaos. And trust that focus isn't just something you have to chase, it's something you can create, one mindful meal at a time. Part 5, Summary and Gimu Episode 10, Eat to Support Sleep and Recovery. We often think of mental focus as something that comes from willpower or caffeine, but in this episode, you've learned a deeper truth. That your brain's clarity is a direct reflection of your nourishment, It's not just about what you eat. It's about the order, the timing, and the intention behind each meal. You don't have to eat perfectly. You don't have to memorize complicated routines. You just have to eat in a way that supports your rhythm and your brain will follow. Let's recap what we've explored. Brain fog is often a metabolic issue, not a mindset one. Blood sugar spikes and inflammation are two key reasons behind mental fatigue. Neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin are built from what and how you eat. Eating fiber first, protein second, carbs last helps maintain mental clarity and calm. Certain foods like leafy greens, fatty fish, fermented foods, and berries actively support cognitive function. Meal timing matters: light in the morning, steady at midday, gentle in the evening, and most of all, you've learned that your plate can be a place of power, not pressure. What's next? Episode 10: Eat to support sleep and recovery. If food affects how you focus during the day, then it also affects how you rest at night. In the next episode, we'll dive into how eating too late disrupts melatonin and deep sleep, why blood sugar crashes at night lead to insomnia, which foods naturally promote rest and recovery, and how to structure your evening meals to wake up refreshed. You'll learn how to use your plate not just for energy and clarity, but for peace, stillness, and healing. Because recovery isn't a luxury, it's a rhythm. And your next good night of sleep might just begin with your next dinner. Final words: your brain wants to focus. It's not fighting you, it's just waiting for the right kind of support. And now you know how to give it. So go gently, eat with rhythm and trust. Clarity is something you can feed. One bite, one breath, one peaceful meal at a time.